Willie attended Frederick Douglass Elementary School and then Booker T. Washington High School.
We had some of the best schools back there when I was growing up. Very good schools. Super schools. Booker T. Washington High School was like, at first it was like they didn't want us there. They didn't want us there, and they didn't think that black kids needed high school. Then I think they went to 8th grade and that was enough. So our parents, who are very, very conservative, whether people know it or not, they got together along with the people who they worked for, and they worked together and got Booker T. Washington to become 12 years of high school. That's when it just woke up black kids and made them into very knowledgeable, well-educated people. And they really tried to harass the school. And that kind of education was very limited. And a lot of the students that from Booker T came all the way from West Palm Beach. After they got to a certain grade, like I think it was 8th, to get that other 4 years, they had to travel from Palm Beach to Miami, Booker T. Well, that was one of the top schools, and they turned out some top people. But all the schools back in those days were top gun because they were totally segregated, and that's all we had. And we made the best of that. And if you missed school, the whole neighborhood would know. And your mama would be waiting with knuckles. You didn't go to school today. You better throw some money in the house before you walk in there. Oh, Mama, I went down to the dock and I made some lunch money. Let me see that lunch money. That's the only thing we'll spare you. I graduated from Booker T. Washington in '55.
Willie then attended Florida A&M College in Tallahassee, where he was part of the Marching 100 Band.
FAMU is a super college, a university. And most of the people that went through FAMU, they are well educated. And the people who I was surrounded with came from Overtown, Booker T, Northwestern, and stuff like that. They were well educated people. And by the time they got through college, if you listen to some of that music and people I worked with, that's why the music was so good, because we locked in to knowledge. We wanted to make A's and B's. We don't want to, if you dealt with F's and D's, you got beat down when you came home. Spending my money on you. I remember my mama put a whooping on me. I had too many beers one night celebrating and came home. She said, "Oh, buddy, oh, come in here." Boom, boom. And put me in the bathroom, put that cold water on me and said, "Oh my God, my child going to college will turn out to be a fool." I said, "Mama, I promise I know you're not." Boom. But we were orientated by our parents. Say, you got to make A's and B's. You got to be twice as good as the competition. And we knew what the competition was. And I started writing lyrics in college. I was taking this course called Creative and Mental Growth. They was teaching me how to be a good teacher. I majored in art education. And they gave us a course in writing from what we could see from famous paintings like Mona Lisa, Whistler's Mother, and all that kind of stuff. And from that, it just, my creativity just caught fire. And I had about 3 or 4 notebooks, thick notebooks of lyrics when I left college. After I graduated from FAMU,
Willie returned to Miami and the vibrant Overtown. He started his career as a teacher at Frederick Douglass Elementary School. But school integration forced him to move and teach at an all-white school, where he remained until he retired.
Now, it's sad to say, but I was one of the first teachers. I shouldn't say sad to say, but it was ironic that I was teaching at Douglass Elementary, and all of a sudden, they said they're going to move me to an all-white school. I said, for what? Because they're going to integrate the schools, and you're one of the teachers that they selected to go into the white schools. I said, why me? I said, Mr. Clarke, you shouldn't be so good at what you're doing, because that's all they want, the cream of the crop. I said, I don't want to be no cream. I want to stay here. But they moved me to the all-white schools. And as a result of them taking these teachers, like me, for real, they moved all the best teachers out of the neighborhood and moved them in a whole different community. And they brought the white teachers into our community. They did not want to come, but they had no choice. You want to teach school, you want the money, you want the salary, then you're going to Liberty City. You're going to Northwestern, you're going wherever we send you. So as a result, before the sun could go down, those white teachers were out of the neighborhood. Zip in, zip out. And as a result, our children start roaming the street, walking around late at night, because when I was in high school, I found myself out after 10 o'clock. Willie Clarke, is that you? You better get your butt home. If you're late tomorrow, I'm going to put that paddle on you. In other words, we were being watched and taken care of. They were making sure that we stayed out of trouble and that we were in school the next day. And the teachers were looking and watching over us. But when they integrated the schools,
in the spare time, he was working with his college mate, Johnny Purcell, at Deep City Records, a record store owned by Johnny.
The music industry has been very positive for me. Me and Johnny Purcell, we started out with Deep City Records in Liberty City on 22nd Avenue. You might be aware, remember the place where they would do the barbecue and all the smoke used to come out on the street until the city made them stop barbecuing there, so they had to go around the side. Okay, the bus drivers, that's like their headquarters, the black bus drivers, right on the corner, Johnny's Record Shop. We started writing songs. I got into writing songs. I guess all my life I've been a songwriter and a poet and a painter and a teacher and a leader. So together, we got together because we were just wild about music, especially the Motown sound, Stax. And we didn't get too much exposure in Tallahassee with the R&B stuff. So in Tallahassee, we listened to the country stuff. And when I came home for the summer or Christmas holidays, all the country music I was hearing in Tallahassee, it kind of blended in with what I was hearing in Miami on WMBM and so forth. And when we came to Miami, met up with Clarence Reed because he knew his way around the city and he knew all the nightclubs and the people, the musicians. And I found him one day after my wife told me it was my time to change the diapers on you-know-who. He was at the door screaming and hollering. So I said, I can't live like this. I got to leave him. I got to go borrow money to buy chicken for dinner. I got a baby screaming in the door. And got my wife demanding that I don't stop mowing the lawn. It's your time to change his diapers. I said, oh, Lord, save me. So from then on, I said, I got to do better than this. So I started writing songs. I found Clarence. And then the rest is almost history. We started writing songs, and it looked like everything we wrote was ready for airplay. The first song we did was the Pot Can't Talk About the Kettle. And the first band we had was a garage band, all white guys. Now, you know, back in those days, you hardly ever saw white people unless you went downtown or went to a job. So it was rare for us to say, hey, this is the band you have for us? And the guys, they were young, and yeah, we're going to play, we're ready. And that's a white band that's playing on the Park Can't Talk About the Kettle. We did about 3 or 4 more songs with them because it was hard for us to catch up with the Soul Brothers because they were kind of like too professional for us. In other words, they hardly paid any attention to us because they were, in other words, they were busy making money. And they didn't have time to experiment with 2 guys who just trying to talk about cutting a record. If you want to cut a record, you go to Motown, you go to New York, you go to LA. I said, no, we could do it right here in Miami. Oh, yeah, okay, man. So the white guys, they were willing and ready to go. So me and Clarence and Arnold Arbery, we worked with them. So that's how we got Park Can't Talk About the Kettle. And then Helene Smith was like our first real star on a song like Willing and Able. And by the way, she sings Park Can't Talk About the Kettle. And we did some fantastic work with her. She's one of the people who helped to make Deep City what it is.